Greetings, beautiful people. Welcome to week 7 of Human Growth and Development. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about what's due and also give you some tips for the test. So, we'll start off with what's due this week. We started today on the 20th of February and we finish on the 26th. And the only thing you have to do this week is participate in our um, fifth discussion, so D5. Now, you can earn up to 20 points for participating in this discussion. You have two options this week. One option is to watch some videos and then, talk about it. The other option is to answer some questions. Now, to earn the full credit, you need to not only make an initial post that's substantive, and by substantive, we mean it's complete, correct, clear, concise, and creative. So by complete, we mean you thoroughly answered the question. By clear, you've proofread and you've eliminated any mechanical or grammatical errors. You've used headings and spacing so that it's easy for us to read your post, right? So complete, correct, clear. Correct would be you've providing accurate information. Now, often these questions are two-part, where part of it is you sharing your thoughts, your feelings, your reaction, but the other part is you sharing some knowledge with the class. We are in a college class, and this is a chance for us to all learn. We're in a learning community. Okay, so you want to share something factual, something that you found from the video, from a scholarly source, from another class, but something worthwhile. Okay, so complete, correct, clear. Concise means you're not going so long that nobody wants to read your post, but you're not going so short that there's no substance, right? That it's lacking meat. You want it to be where you find that happy balance. There's enough information there for us to digest it, but there's not so much that we're overwhelmed. All right. And then the creative part is simply showing your personality by your word choice, how you phrase it, whether you decide to include a picture or share a link, right? But you're making a post that is substantive. All right. When you reply to your two or more classmates, those posts are also substantive. And this means that you are adding to the conversation. This is fun. It's not drudgery. Trust me, I take time to make sure these posts, these questions, or these prompts are worthwhile, that they're engaging. I don't just give you generic posts. Now, some of the questions I do ask are for the sake of learning the content in the class, but I try when possible to mix it up a little bit. So go ahead and give me the courtesy and your fellow class members the courtesy of giving us a good post. And I have to say, I've noticed that so many of you, more than half of the class, do an excellent job, superb job. And I'm impressed. Okay, when I say I'm impressed, I'm like, look at them. So half of y'all are doing wonderful. The other half, there's a mixture between some that are doing just above the minimum, some doing just the minimum, and some that I'm just, side eye. You know, Go ahead and get on board. Be with the winners and do a good job. All right, so that's D5. You can earn up to 20 points, and voila, you're good to go. You want to make your initial post by Thursday and reply to two more classmates by Sunday. And it does close Sunday at midnight, 11:59. So if you don't get it in by Sunday, you just forfeit those points. So that's this week. Now, where we stand so far with points, we're at 110 points so far of what's been assigned and what's been graded. The only thing that's missing is the group annotated bibliography, which was worth 10 points. It was due yesterday by 11:59, and it closes this Wednesday. So I'll be grading those over the next few days. But everything that else that has been assigned has been graded. So you should know where you stand right now. And if you're like, I don't know, well, right now there's 110 points. So you take whatever you got, maybe you earned 100 points so far, and you take your 100 and divide it by 110, and then multiply it by 100, and that'll tell you exactly where you stand in the class right now. So I'm just looking on my phone. I take my 100 divided by 110, and it says 90. I multiply it by 100, 90.9. So you would have an A minus in the class right now if you had 100 out of 110 points. Now, you shouldn't really be too concerned because we have a total of 600 points in this class. So considering we're only at 110, you still have, a lot more points that you can earn to boost your score to that A that you're aiming for. All right, we're going to switch gears now and I'm going to talk about the test. Okay, so the test is coming up next week. All right. And this test will be proctored via Honorlock. So I'm going to post a Honorlock practice quiz this week. I strongly encourage you to take this Honorlock practice quiz so you can make sure that there are no hiccups and so that you're ready. To be clear, when you take Honorlock test, you're going to have to pay for this Honorlock, for this service. You can pay $10 for the entire semester. That includes all of your tests and quizzes, or you can pay $5 per test. We have 2 tests in our class, so that would be $10 total, or you can pay, the $10 and have access to all of Honorlock if there's other classes that you're taking that also require to use the Honorlock. If by chance you don't want to use Honorlock, the only alternative is to come to the testing center. Now, if you want to go to the testing center, you're going to have to schedule this now, this week, because they have limited space available. If by chance you are able to get an appointment next week with the testing center, basically you let me know and I will send a paper copy to the testing center. And then you go to the testing center. That's at Ocala campus, building. It's building 2, top floor, I think is room 205, or building 5, room 205 on the, if you want to do that. I'm pretty sure there's a testing center at the other locations besides the Ocala campus. But anyway, you need to make those arrangements if that's what you decide to do and you don't want to take Honorlock. The benefit of taking a test with Honorlock is you're taking it at home. The benefit of going to the testing center is you don't have to have a lockdown browser and a microphone and a camera. If you take the test at home, you will have to have a camera, microphone, and be able to use lockdown browser. Basically, Honorlock is a Chrome extension, and you're definitely going to need that. There's no alternative. So don't call me with your sob stories. No, no, no. It was listed in the announcement when you sign up for the class. You will use Honorlock. Now, if you don't want to use Honorlock, like I said, you can go to the testing center. If you don't want to do that, you can email me, and I have office hours. So I'm on campus Mondays and Wednesdays. And if you want to come during my office hours, I'm happy to proctor the test for you during my office hours. I do have students sometimes come to office hours and ask me questions. And, sometimes I do have other colleagues that come and communicate with me. But I usually can accommodate students who want to take a test during my office hours. So just let me know. Um, Okay, so anyway, with this test, you are allowed to have a cheat sheet. Okay, that's right, a cheat sheet. 8.5 by 11, so a standard piece of typing paper. You can type your notes, you can handwrite your notes, whatever you want, and it can be two-sided. So either one page two-sided or 2 one-sided pages, whichever you prefer. And you put all the notes that you want, and you use that when you take the test. Now, the reason why I do this is because when you're making this cheat sheet, this is actually getting you to study, right? It's actually getting you to review the information, organize it, and play with it. And so that's one of the reasons why I do the cheat sheet. The reason why I allow you to use it on the test is because sometimes students have test anxiety. And by having this cheat sheet, it can lessen their anxiety because they have kind of like a security blanket. Also, sometimes students get a little flustered and some of the concepts that they just weren't able to memorize are on the cheat sheet. Now, in general, my tests tend to be a combination of critical thinking questions, application questions, and some questions that require rote memorization. So, having a cheat sheet is going to help you, but it's not going to solve all of your problems. You're going to still need to study. And speaking of studying, what do you need to study? Well, you need to read chapters 1 through 8. And so far, you've already read chapters 1 through 6, right? This week, you're reading chapters 7 and 8. If you look at the syllabus, it says adolescence. It should say middle childhood. We're going to save adolescence for after the test because there's just going to be too much information for you to have on the test. So we're going to stop with middle childhood, okay? So we're talking from prenatal development through infancy, the first 2 years, right? Early childhood, and middle childhood. That's all that's going to be on the test. But there's so much that goes on during that time. So you need to know terms like what a zygote is, the difference between a zygote and a fetus. You need to know how nature and nurture interact to produce, an individual who is multifaceted, right? You need to know about the biopsychosocial model, the idea that your social influences impact who you are just as much as your biological processes and also your thinking. Okay, so read chapters 1 through 8. Definitely know a little bit about Erickson and Piaget and Vygotsky. Those are theorists, if you didn't know that. And get ready for that test. I'm planning to do another video if students want me to, that can give you a few practice questions because I already have one up on my other YouTube channel. And I was thinking I would just remix it and share it with you all. If you guys want that, if you don't want it and you're tired of seeing me on camera, that's fine. I get it. I'm not hating. But give me a thumbs up, drop a comment, or just let me know. And I'm happy to go ahead and share that video or to make another video for you all. But like I said, definitely start preparing for the test this week. The test is going to be next week, and more than likely it will stay open for about 3 or 4 days. And so probably I will open it up on Wednesday or Thursday, and it will stay open until like Monday. And that'll give people enough time to plan and to take the test. I don't like leaving the test open for too long because unfortunately, some students are not so honest. I know it's hard to believe, but some people actually um, unfortunately get access to the test and share the answers or the questions with their fellow class members. So I don't leave the test open for an unlimited amount of time, but I will leave it open for 3 days or so. That way you can kind of see when you want to take it and have a chance to plan accordingly. In terms of the test, they're all multiple choice questions. So there's no essay, there's no short answer. It is timed. You have 75 minutes to answer 50 questions. So you have more than enough time. Now, if you have an accommodation with and I've received that letter, then I will use what you have for the accommodation to adjust your time. If you're concerned that I might overlook adjusting your time, you can email me and send me a little reminder, and I would greatly appreciate that. But if not, that's fine. I'm going to look through my email and see who needs to get whose time should be adjusted. So all in all, chapters 1 through 8, make your cheat sheet. It's all multiple choice. It is proctored via Honorlock. It is timed, but you do have an alternative if you don't do so well. So don't stress too much. If you miss this test, I give a makeup at the end of the term, and the makeup subs in for this test. So if you miss this test, you're going to show a 0 in the computer so you can see what your grade looks like with missing this test. But at the end, at the very end of the term, I offer a makeup, and the makeup is only 25 questions, but it's the same information, not the exact same questions, but the same information. And when you take that test, you are, I grade it and then I sub in that score in place of the 0 or in place of whatever score you had the first time. Now, when you take the makeup, if you do worse the second time than you did the first time, then I just, I turn the other cheek. I only record the highest score. Something else you should know is that I will also be making some extra credit available, and the extra credit is completely optional, but it'll be worth 10 points, and those 10 points will be added directly to your midterm. So if you scored an 80 on the midterm and you got the 10 points extra credit, then that's a 90. If you scored a 70 on the midterm and you got 5 of the 10 extra credit points, well, that's a 75. So the extra credit can only help you, and you should definitely do it when it becomes available. Usually I make it available the week of the test. So that's all I have to say. We're at almost 14 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Remember, give me a thumbs up or let me know if you want me to make another video. Okay, that's it. À tout à l'heure.